And today marks day 2 of the inaugural African Climate Summit, which is being hosted in Nairobi, that's in Kenya. The summit is aiming to address the increasing exposure to climate change in Africa. Some of those discussions from day 1 included the just energy transition for the continent. Once again, let's bring in our guest, climate activist and organizer of the Africa Bureau for Climate Stories. That's Joseph Silali, who now joins us via our telephone line. And Joseph, once again, thanks for your time. You were still explaining to us the major outcomes out of day 1 and whether you reckon they struck the right chords or hit the right notes, especially because there were concerns that this particular gathering will be hijacked, so to speak.
Yeah, as it happens to every climate event, usually there are people that are for or against, but the government is always for development, and the civil society are always fighting for the right of the people. And maybe now the big fight is for now from fossil fuel to greener energy, which the government is trying so much, the African governments are trying so much to justify themselves on why they can still stick to the fossil fuel, but the agitators really they want the government to come up with a clear plan on how they'll come away from fossil fuel.
Absolutely.
Renewable. And these are some of the points that the president really came across pushing on. He said that we are coming up with an ultimate resolution on climate change. This includes reduction of food wastage, and through adaptation of new ways of farming, and coming up with new sources of energy which are renewable. And then we have restorative agriculture built on indigenous and the local people. And then lastly, we spoke about monetizing our agriculture system, so that at least with the climate change, now people can even come up with projects which are climate friendly and make money for their families and for extra use.
Yeah. Of course, there's no overstating the importance of collaboration, even with multinational companies from other institutions or other countries. But how worried are you that Africa's voice is being drowned out in this particular gathering, even though this is technically, in fact, literally, an Africa summit?
Okay, repeat the question.
I was just asking about whether or not you reckon Africa voices are actually been given the space to at least be heard in this particular gathering, because there's always been a concern about them being drowned out by much bigger players, and as an example, that they're collaborating with internationally.
Yeah, this is so funny because I had a talk with a foreign journalist today outside Africa, and the thing is, like, we as Africans, we've not yet come up with a clear plan on how to do a just transition. We're still waiting for some words from here and there, and that's what even the president was saying. Like, now our resolution are this: we should move from this point to the other one. And it's true that the multinationals are actually dictating some of what resolution will get out of the meeting. But what I know and what I know about the African leaders and the sessions there is that we will come up with something which is going to be a balanced one. But we'll know in the next one day.
Joseph Silali, thanks very much indeed for your time. Joseph is a climate activist as well as the organizer of the Africa Bureau for Climate Stories. Once again, thanks very much indeed.